Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee, where sports, culture, and community intersect. Join Carl and frequent co-host Hollis Lewis as they dive into engaging conversations with guests from all walks of life. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's Talk with Carl Lee and my co-host Hollis Lewis.
What's up? What's up?
Hollis Lewis is our project director of crisis intervention in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Hollis, one of the things that I wanted, and I don't know if I did this before, but I really want to ask you a question about what that entails. Yeah. I think I did it maybe off air, but I want people to actually know what that is before I kind of go through the rest of the introduction here.
Yeah. Crisis intervention teams are community-based programs in which we bring together law enforcement, firefighters, EMS, advocates, mental health, behavioral health professionals, and other community partners in order to build a better response to persons in crisis. We facilitate this through a series of trainings and, most importantly, connecting community resources and connecting community members together. Because what we understand now, with mental health, houselessness, substance use disorder, is that not every situation or not every emergency call is criminal justice, quote unquote, right? Some people need help. Some people need to be guided to resources. And so it gives, law enforcement in particular, just more tools in order to navigate those sort of situations.
Yeah, and I think you had a summit, I think, last week.
We had a summit. We brought the whole state together. We had 33 counties represented, nearly 200 people down here in Charleston, and just hearing from subject matter experts, those with lived experience, and those who are running successful CIT programs.
All right. Well, Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. You can visit Frank Walker at FrankWalkerLaw.com for more information. You can also catch Let's Talk with Carl Lee every Sunday at 1 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. on 580 WCHS. If you missed any of the episodes and you want to catch up, you can go to WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. You can also follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk with Carl Lee for any of the updates. So, all right. So, Hollis, I think you were going to jump in.
Yeah,
you were antsy and telling me that you kind of wanted to jump in and start out the show. So go ahead with it.
We definitely got a lot to talk about. Olympics, NFL, and all that stuff. But what I wanted to hit on first is that, we being in the media, we've gone from being players to being coaches and, coming to this side of the game. And I recently, read a story on Jalen Hurts and his head coach, and, they're having friction and whatnot that could have led to their, ultimately being eliminated last year from the playoffs. And also there's news about Skip Bayless, who is a fame or infamous to some people, who is, no longer going to be, I think he's retiring, not that he's just not going to be with FCS. But, when we think about the role of media in sports, has it become too invasive? Is it hurting sports? Is it promoting sports? Kind of what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, I got two sides to it, I guess. Yeah. Being behind the mic and how I think about it.
We've had our controversy too.
Yes. I think being behind the mic, my personality, I think, allows me to be a little bit more comfortable with being maybe more open to say things that maybe I wouldn't just randomly say.
Yeah.
For the reason to make sure that people understand exactly kind of like what's happening. And as a player, I did feel like there were some questions that shouldn't be asked to me, whatever that. I can't really necessarily recall one, but I'm sure that at some point there was a conversation with the media that I wasn't happy with, or interview went and the way that it because you know, as you know, editing out certain stuff and editing and putting other things in, you have that ability to do that. Yeah. So
and sometimes it seems as though a lot of times they take your worst talking point
and put it out there and put it out there. So you get uncomfortable with the media, and you know, and I'll say this: some of our best athletes in the state of West Virginia, I think the media is the primary source of the reason why they don't come back. I think I think it is because of some of the things that they have said or the way that they said them. Because a lot of times when you're writing to me, in my mind, when you're writing a story about something that's happened, you may not know all of the facts.
And that's true. And also, I think because of the 24-hour coverage, you also have, it seems like at some junctures you want to be salacious or you want to be invasive. And it's just like, you know, what's the media's proper place? Is it to promote and pump up sports, or is it just to find those gritty headlines?
Well, to me, and again, I'll go back to my experience with being in jail in Minneapolis. What the crazy scenario was, so the media then covers this story and says that me and Anthony Carter, AC, they had to physically pull us off the ground. That never happened. I mean, it never happened. And the only real reason that we actually ended up in the police car, in handcuffs, and then to the station was I was trying to get AC to go back in. We were going to go back in Viking Christmas party. Okay, we're in tux, so we're not. It's not like we were wrestling around on the ground.
Y'all not even in the club.
No, we're not in the club.
And it's funny. I read that story. It made it seem like y'all
we was in the club.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so I'm trying to get him in, and the police grabs him, and hey, I got him. I reach and grab the cop's arm, like, hey, I got him.
Yeah.
But now, next thing I know,
you jammed up.
We in trouble. Okay. The story then comes out like they had to physically pull us apart. And how do you defend that? Right? Like it's in the newspaper.
Yeah.
So where I'm trying to tell this story that it happened this way. And think about it. If that were the case, why wouldn't the team have something negative to say about that? Yeah. Or saying something about, Carl and Anthony Carter, yes, they did have a fight, da-da-da-da-da.
Now, did that make the headlines here as well? Or it was kind of just stayed in Minnesota?
I don't know. I know my mom knew about it because she was my first call. Yeah. So I don't know if people even knew that. Yeah. They may not have. But it goes to your point, though. You can write your story not based on facts, but the assumptions of what you think. Or maybe they interviewed a police officer and a police officer said that, hey,
Because and to your point, I'm kind of glad you're going here because I think it forces it. A lot of these stories aren't written with objectivity, right?
Right.
We've seen the situations where various young men have been accused of, assault type of crimes. And just to come find out later that they were actually innocent of those crimes, but it cost them years, it cost them draft picks and all these different things of that nature. So is the media obligated to be objective when they write these stories or when they talk about this stuff?
Well, let me answer that with a question.
Yeah.
So if I have the opportunity to write this story about me and you, we went to blows after the show, right? Yeah. And so if I have my chances to write the best story, am I worried about the facts?
But is it the best story or is it the headline and story that's going to grab the attention?
Yes, I got to get the headline.
Because now you're forced. It's a lot of news out there. It's a lot of media out there. So now you're forced to just what's going to pop for me.
Well, and here's the other thing. I've asked a couple of writers to come on.
Yeah.
Okay, and I haven't gotten anybody to come on. Okay, and part of that, I think, could be because they're not sure what I might ask him. But I can clearly remember. I'm sure, and I even have the article in one of my scrapbooks that I would, if I got drafted, if I would get to an opportunity to the league, that I wouldn't be able to make it. Mm-hmm. How do you?
They said that about you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So a media person said that about you?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And so my thing is okay. And then once I made it, then it was like, well, he might do a little bit, but it ain't gonna be what it was. Okay. Yeah. So I can feed off of that, but why would we write an article like that? Like, because you don't know. Like, you don't know what you.
But why wouldn't he? If that's his opinion of your play, particularly like if he's seen you play and he's measuring you against other.
What is he measure? What is he measuring? He's measuring me against what he sees.
He's measuring what he sees from you and other players, similarly situated players who may have made it.
From here. No.
I'm talking about
from making it. They don't know what player did they know that had made it.
This was in high school, right?
High school. This is in college.
Okay, so he can measure you against college players, right? Other college players. He cannot necessarily just limit it to here in West Virginia or Marshall. Other, players who play the position national.
Okay, let me ask you this: Do you think that sitting in the stands, roaming the sidelines, you can assess an athlete's talent?
I think you can. I definitely think you can. I think particularly, like I said, if you coached it, you played it, and you observe
No, I didn't say, No. I am not saying you as a coach, as a player, as a player. I'm talking you as a media guy.
A media person.
A media person.
Yeah, I think if you watched enough ball, then I think you can have a sense of somebody's natural talent. Now, again, we don't know their work ethic. We don't know their heart. We don't know their mind. We don't know that part.
Okay,
that's the enigma, right?
There is the three pieces that you can't add into.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't think that's their job because and again, I'll bring it back to us. And again, I don't want to go down here, but we faced last year around this time. We faced extreme criticism for the whole transfer thing because everybody, they blamed that on us. Far as it, not necessarily the movement, but they blamed the conversation and the controversy around it on us. We was the one who's kind of opened those can of worms, and we were doing that right from where we're sitting at now, and providing our own analysis of it without necessarily knowing all the facts. Right.
Yes. Yes. Right? Yes. Okay. Now, all right. So
I've gotten questions on that within the last week or so.
Okay. So I had a conversation. Okay, and I had no intentions of bringing this in.
Yeah, please. Let's make it quick.
I had no intentions of bringing this in.
Yeah.
But I had a conversation. Okay, youth football. Okay, and I know this is like a non-starter for you.
Yeah.
Okay. But I had a conversation in youth football with a parent and with two parents, and we were talking about kids that play somewhere else. There has been a couple of kids who called us and wanted us to give them waivers.
Yeah.
Okay. I told them there are no waivers. There's no such thing as a waiver in the new league. There's no such thing as a waivers. Waivers used to be you could grant them an opportunity to go play somewhere else. Okay, so. No, they don't have them. What the rule is that you go and you play where you're supposed to go to high school.
Okay, so you can't play anywhere else.
No, you can't just play. No, you can't just play anywhere else. So you have to. So, and I'm sure there's some justifiable reasons to do that. But the main deal is that you have to play where you're high school. So if you're going to a South Charleston High School feeder school. Or in elementary, that's where you got to go. So I said that the players who leave do not care specifically about whether or not we can field a team. We are low on numbers. South Charleston is low on numbers in our youth football programs. Mm-hmm. And for me to okay somebody to leave, I get it. You have a right for your kid to do whatever you want your kid to do.
Yeah.
What is my role for the city of South Charleston? I'm trying to do the best for everybody's kid. I don't have a kid invested in this. I don't have a grandchild invested in this. So I'm just trying to make sure we field a team. Why am I letting your kid go Why am I saying, oh, yeah, take your kid wherever you want? Good luck. Have the, why would I do that? Because at the end of the day, who am I for? I am for the entire team.
Yeah.
When you go because you want to go.
See, we're going down the road. Yeah. I mean, again, though, but again, kind of bringing it back to the media thing, I understand what you're saying, but I think those are the nuances when we talk about like whether we can judge somebody or whether it's just that we have an opinion of somebody without necessarily knowing all the facts. That's our job.
I think us as media, I think, this is not my full-time job.
Yeah.
But me as being part of this, I think I have to talk about things that happen, that I see, that I feel, and all those kinds of things, and say my view on them, because that's what we do.
That's what we do. But
and I'm not saying that I am always right or my opinion is always right. It's just mine.
Yeah. But when does it go too far? Because you look at somebody like a Skip Bayless, and I think a lot of the beefs, quote unquote, that he's been involved with, basically just belittling players and their accomplishments and what they've been through.
See, I think to me, Skip Bayless may have just gotten he just felt comfortable to a point where he could say whatever he.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
say that like the Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
biggest Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, like when you start critiquing somebody. Mm-hmm. Personally,
yeah, and
saying that they're not something, and
particularly when they've already accomplished
things.
See, I think to your point, I think that's when it gets dicey. Because, like I said, I can have my opinion and my analysis on you, but what I can't do is like denigrate what you've already done, or I really can't even denigrate your potential per se.
Right?
You see what I'm saying?
Right. I don't think that's my thing. I don't ever want to be on a show and say that a player isn't this.
Yeah.
He may not be that in the moment.
Yeah.
But like you said, work ethic, all of those kinds of things, we don't know that piece of it. And the problem with media, us included, is sometimes we're put in positions to be the expert opinion. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I don't make the case that it's our opinion. It's not expert opinion. It's just an opinion.
It's just an opinion.
And I think when you get on that national stage, I think you get and if you get full of yourself, you think that you can justify or you can confirm how good a player isn't, should be, shouldn't be. You don't think he's this and da 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 da. You don't have a right to think.
And I think people like just here locally, because that's actually a good point. Because I think some people, when they go national, that national status, they think that they're the expert just because they've reached the national status, right? And I think some people, just to bring it back local, some people thought I think they thought that we were trying to proclaim ourselves as expert when we talking about the transfer thing and different things of that nature, when we were just giving our opinion on it. Yeah, we weren't necessarily saying like good, right, wrong, whatever. We're saying this is our position and this is what we think about it from where we sit.
Yeah, and from what we've done.
Yeah.
And like for me, I always say, even at Marshall when we weren't winning, I couldn't imagine leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if it was a built-in loyalty. I knew that Sonny Randall had played pro. Bob Pruitt's my DB coach. I mean, come on. Like and somebody said like youth football, like you don't have coaches. You don't have coaches that know what they're doing. We don't have kids that know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And really, really all that you need is if you can get a guy, because every dad wants to coach. No, I shouldn't say that. But a lot of dads want to coach, and they want to coach because their kid's playing. And they don't necessarily have to know all the details of football. They don't have to have played football. They're going to Google drills and do all that kind of stuff because these kids they're going to advance. You know, when you're talking about K through 2, what football can you teach them actually?
Yeah, you just got to know more than the kid.
You just got to do. Yeah. You got to know more than the kid. Yeah. Hand the most athletic kid the ball. He's going to score, and your team's likely going to be a winner.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that we judge coaches, we judge media folks.
Yeah.
And all that I think that they're trying to do is just their job.
Mm-hmm.
I got this mic. I got the opportunity to have this mic in front of me. I chose to have you to be on a mic across from me. We're not perfect, but we can. But don't get angry at what we say, because it's just an opinion, and that opinion could be way off from yours.
Yeah. But
you can speak yours to us. Yeah. You can. We're not saying that you can't be right. We're just saying simply that this is today's show. This is what we said, and we feel this way. We could even change. We probably, I'm sure, have had some conversation where after the show or a day or so after the show, like, oh, you know what? I wish I had said that or didn't say that or da 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 da.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
Yeah. I think that's appropriate, and I think that's sort of the job of the media. I think is to give that opinion, to provide some expert or some knowledgeable analysis when appropriate, and just to be that voice and provide entertainment as well. But I don't think, like I said, once it starts getting invasive, like I said, that article with Jalen Hurts and his coach, is that necessary? why are we doing that? Or some of the things that, like Skip Bayless has said that he's been demonized for. Like, why are we doing that?
Well, I think, and I'm going to go to Skip Bayless again, just for the fact that he got so big.
He got huge. He was the hottest thing on TV at one point.
The best thing. Everybody's catching him. Yeah. And I think there's always this, oh, you know what? He messed up. He said this. Oh, we need to get him on this. And I think that, everybody, every great athlete has that time where somebody's going to get him. Somebody's going to say, oh, he's lost it. Mm-hmm. He can't do it anymore. And there's a little bit of but I think the media now is experiencing that, because for a long time it was one-sided. Where I give you that. Yes.
Where the athlete was living in the glass house, everything they do would be critiqued. Now the media's getting that, particularly like with players, having their own podcasts and their own shows and everything. They're giving it back like the media was giving, and I think it's causing some sort of friction, and it's causing maybe the relationship to change a little bit.
I think the public that's hearing it is uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, because now you're hearing both sides.
Because now you are not even necessarily both sides, but now what you said, and now somebody is now critiquing you that's like has some status, has some platform. Now all of a sudden you're like looking like, well, hold on.
Yeah, and we got to remember, a guy like Skip, he's been in this business since like the 70s, so it's changed,
and it took him a long time to get to that level. Mm-hmm. And then I think once he got there, he felt invincible.
Yeah, and
could say anything. He could say, well, you know what, Hollis Lewis, he should never have been playing. He should have never. I just don't. Nobody cares what you.
Not to that degree.
Not to that degree. Yeah. Nobody. We don't need you to assess his skill set. He played. Mm-hmm. Talk about. Say he didn't play well. Say something, but don't say he didn't deserve to be there. Yeah. He's there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And speaking of Skip Bayless, speaking of the Cowboys,
really?
Yeah, we're gonna go there. Well, they don't want to pay Dak, because we've seen like the huge quarterback contracts, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen Tua get paid. You've seen Lawrence get paid. You've seen Lamar Jackson get paid. You've seen Love and the Packers get paid. I'm talking about like $200+ million contracts. As an ex-player, how do you feel about that? Now you didn't play quarterback, obviously, but how do you feel about that?
It is tough, but again, I get to look at it from hindsight. Looking at it from hindsight now, you have to know where you're at. You have to know where, because you're looking at your career. You're looking at people who getting signed. Mm-hmm. How many years do they have left? How many years you have left?
Yeah.
Because the question is can you if we bring a quarterback in, can you be the number one quarterback? So before we try to pay you because 1 year maybe, I mean he got one. Like, to me, he's at the end.
You talking about Dak?
Yes.
You think so?
I do.
You think he at the end?
I'm thinking, bro. I just don't see. I just don't see him. Just all of a sudden, where's he going up? Where's he going up? Let's just say.
That's a hot take.
Let's say if he plays 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those 3 years going to be better than the last 3?
So you saying he probably reached his climax's potential?
I think so.
Wow. That's a hot take.
I'm just saying. I'm not a Dallas fan.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear. But with the argument about him not wanting to pay him.
But if you're Jerry Jones, do you pay him?
No, I'm probably not paying him.
Here's the thing.
Let me tell you why.
Okay,
let me tell you why.
I'll come back. Yeah.
Because there's too many possibilities coming.
See, I disagree with that.
Listen, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a whole lot of people out there like, what is he saying? Mm-hmm. Trust me when I tell you. Before I'm going to pay this guy,
and we're talking about 250,
yes,
260
yes,
million. We're talking about max.
Before I put him in a max category, and I'm not sure he's the ticket that's going to take me to the bowl.
Yeah.
I'm going to start all over again with a number one pick as a quarterback.
Wow. Or
I'm going to trade around for somebody
until you get the guy.
Until I get the guy. I'm going to throw away some picks and try to get me somebody that's got time to go, because he's got to go now, right? Would you say you got to Super Bowl now? You got to go Super Bowl now.
You got to win some playoff games. You at next year is at least got to get to the NFC Championship. At least. You at least got to get there.
You got it.
You saying win it. You saying
no,
he got to get to.
I'm not going to necessarily say he.
I'm talking about the NFC Championship. You saying he got to get to the Super Bowl?
I think he's got to get there. And then the question is, before you hand the money, can you say we're going to comfortably give him this money because we think we're going to go?
I mean, I think Jerry Jones has said that without saying that. I don't think he's comfortable. I don't think he believes in that. But I'll say this. When I thought about this.
Are you a Dallas fan?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I thought about this, and I guess my perspective is that I don't know how many high caliber quarterbacks out there, because I had this argument years ago. Quarterback is truly the hardest position to play in sports because of your physical ability and the processing time that you have to make decisions, right? And all the things, the things you need to account for within that 4 to 5 seconds. And I don't know how many elite or even good quarterbacks are out there right now. Because when we talk about what they're paying them, they're paying these guys because it's just not a lot of them out there. When we talk about the NFL today, like how many Super Bowl caliber guys are out there now? You might have 3 or 4 out of 60, 70 quarterbacks. So it's like if you find somebody who is very good, I don't know if we say Dak is elite. I'm saying very good. You got to pay.
I agree. But
you disagree.
I'm looking at the ownership and what I remember of how that is. Like when you get to that end and you're trying to push that number up.
Yeah.
But they're looking at, well, he's 32. By 33, we don't even know if he's gonna be able to run.
And he ain't done it yet.
And he ain't done it yet.
Man,
I mean, I'm sitting there.
So if it's up to you right now, you said you're going to let Dak play out this year, and then if you don't make it to where we need to make it, you gone.
Why am I going to pay you on the hopes that you're going to do it? You ain't done it yet. Play out your last contract. Get us somewhere that makes us think that you can take us. You can take us home at the end of your career. You can bring us home. Okay, maybe. Because listen, and we got to take a break here.
I know, but I just don't know who you get.
I don't.
If you ain't got Dax right now, who better than that?
Somebody might take him. Do you trade him?
You saying trade him and load up?
Yeah.
Do you
possibly? Possibly. I mean, I don't know.
Bruh. I just don't know who you would get. I mean, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you in totality, but I'm saying if you trade him, you let him go, whatever happens, who do you get?
All right, hold that thought right there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Comment on episodes, ask Carl and Hollis questions, or suggest topics at our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee, and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Get in the game with the WVRC Media app, offering pristine local play-by-play audio and team news for every WVRC radio station, covering the entire Mountain State. Download for free from the Apple or Play stores and catch the best local sports coverage from Beckley to Morgantown, Charleston to Martinsburg. Our stations are locally focused, delivering robust sports updates and live game coverage. Stay connected to local teams and sports heroes. The WVRC Media app. We're proud to live here too.
Fall is quickly approaching, so is Marshall University's Paint the Capitol Green event. The evening of Wednesday, August 21st, a 6 o'clock start at the Bill No Flight School at Yeager Airport, made possible by Ball Toyota of Charleston. Speakers include Marshall football coach Charles Huff, men's basketball coach Corney Jackson, women's coach Julie Folks, cross-country coach Caleb Bowen, and more. Get your tickets by calling the Big Green Scholarship Foundation at 304-696-4661 or by email biggreen@marshall.edu, and we will all paint the Capitol Green on August the 21st.
Find previous episodes of Let's Talk at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. This is Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Now, back to the conversation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just left on a break here having a very good argument. So, Hollis, put your point out there again for me.
No, I was just saying, and again, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you in totality, as I mentioned before. I guess all I'm saying is that when you look at, and I'm saying you got your elite guys that's playing quarterback in the National Football League, and you have your very, very good guys. I would pick Dax. He's teetering, right? But he's a very, very good guy based off, wins, playoffs wins, and all that. And I'm saying if you let him go, you trade him, who do you get that can fill those shoes for as long as he's been doing it? Because he's been good for a long time now.
Okay, one, he's not Patrick Mahomes because he can't.
Ain't nobody Patrick Mahomes, bro.
Right?
That's different.
But I'm just saying that. So to the point of him being able to take a team there, he can't do it.
You don't think?
No.
I can't argue with that necessarily.
No, he ain't been.
Okay, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I ain't got much for you on that.
I mean, there's the great quarterbacks that are out there now. Okay, they're taking their team somewhere. Not saying that they don't have a team around them, but they're taking their teams.
I mean, I'm thinking because if you look at Love, what he did last season, he took his team. Tua, I think he got great pieces around him. Josh Allen takes his team. Joe Burrow, I don't care. I see where you're going. Lamar Jackson takes.
Yes, they're doing everything. They're running, they're passing, they're doing all this kind of stuff. Everything in their wheelhouse they're using to push their team forward.
But Dax is giving you 12 wins every year.
All the time, right? But
every year.
But what is it getting you? those 12 wins are great. But where are you going?
Man, where you going? That's a tough argument. I mean, that's really a tough argument because I understand what you're saying, and I'm saying in playoff time, in the really, really crunch mode when you need to advance, when you need to go,
you have to go.
He ain't necessarily. I don't know if he's inhibited or whatever, but it's not going with him, right? And I'm saying who you get though.
And here's his problem. His problem's not him per se.
Yeah.
But because he's not those quarterbacks that we just named, who's literally throwing the ball sidearm, underhand, whatever they have to do to complete a pass that gets you to the next round of the playoffs, he's not doing that. He's not doing that.
Man.
And the standard for the quarterback now is Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, I can't.
That's the new.
That's
That's the
on that one.
That's the new norm.
With you. Yeah, I mean it is.
It is. It's the, know, and all of a sudden,
even the Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes lost, he was clearly, if the team would have cooperated, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah,
because he clearly was pushing y'all down there. He just ain't really have the help that he needed in that one.
Because and think about it this way: when the game's over, when the Kansas City game is over, how many times have you said, "Gosh, if he just could have done more"? Never. Okay.
I mean, because even if you're thinking of a guy like Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah,
he took that team somewhere. We were just talking about.
And
dang, I never
can Doc run? Can he really run? Like, can he really hurt me?
He's not a scrambler. He can get you some first downs though.
A couple
out the pocket.
A couple,
yeah,
but he ain't a runner.
He ain't
me
runner.
As a defense, I don't have to worry about him as a runner.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about no
So now,
read options.
So now,
like that.
My defense, when I got to go to Kansas City, I got to think about the running back, quarterback, receivers. I got to worry about all that.
Yeah, and really,
when you're playing Dallas, I'll just as soon let you go get your 4 or 5 yards. Go get you a first down every now and then, because that's all you're gonna do. Because you not gonna. I'm sorry to the Dallas fans. Yeah. I ain't hating on Dallas. I'm just saying.
You saying he ain't that guy?
I don't.
In your opinion,
I don't. I think the reason they're not paying him, the reason why they don't want to pay him, is because they don't see an upside. He ain't going up.
Oh, okay.
He ain't going up.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's really a tough one to argue. And I'm just saying, based off the state of quarterbacking, it's just not a lot out there, man. It's not a lot of. I would personally say it's not a lot on Dak's level.
But let's just say this: there's a couple of quarterbacks. There's a couple of quarterbacks who nobody really thought was going to be great, good, right out of the chute. Some of them haven't been, right? Dallas has to get they have to get a new style quarterback. He's a mixture of that guy that can kind of run. Yeah. He can run out of the pocket, but he's not gonna run the ball to hurt you.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes is going to hurt you. He can kill you running the football,
and because of the way he can throw the ball,
and the way that he can throw the ball,
hard to defend.
He's got all the pieces that you need to where because think about it. You sitting in the film room, he hands the ball off. Guy runs 10 yards. You're looking at the O line, looking at the running back. Man, they're good. Okay, then you look at the receivers. They're running routes. Ball's right there. Then all of a sudden, you blitz him. The visiting team is blitzing him, and all of a sudden, he breaks out of the pocket, goes for 15.
And to your point, in the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl, he had the 2 big 20, 30-yard runs that really put him over the top. So to your point, I mean, you're right. You're exactly correct.
When you're breaking down that film, you're looking at that dude.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy that's unaccounted for.
Yeah. And again, I think – when we're looking at quarterbacks, the new style quarterbacks, you got to be able to. You got to be Josh Allen,
yes, you have to be.
Love, C.J. Stroud. You got to be able to give me some because I always said you as a quarterback, you need to account for at least 3 to 4 first downs in a game, maybe 5. But now it's maybe you got to account for that big play with your legs, and you got to be able to throw awkwardly now.
Yes. Any kind of way.
Yeah.
And you're going to have people trying to throw that sidearm ball because,
Stafford, they all do it. Yeah. Really, I've seen quarterbacks practicing that now. It's like what they told us not to do.
Exactly.
You got to practice throwing across your body, sidearm. You got to have all the angles in your repertoire.
If a quarterback would have thrown, if I'm at State and a quarterback tries to throw a sidearm ball,
yeah.
I'm pulling him out. I'm like, are you crazy?
But now you got to have it.
You coaching it.
Now you coaching it. That's part of the coaching.
And I think that's what's growing that's what's growing into the new quarterback. And some of those great quarterbacks of the past that are still kind of hanging on, we already know, they already know, team already knows they don't have that.
Dang.
They can't bring that to you.
That's a good point. I can't, because again, we're talking about a different level of athleticism and athletes.
Yes, and if you don't have that guy, you better have a Dan Marino as a quarterback. If he can't move,
those don't grow on trees.
no, those are not easy either.
Yeah. So and speaking of athleticism, we talked earlier. We both are big Olympics fans, and what we were talking about, I like the conversation. I want to bring it up now, just about the athleticism that we are getting to witness in these Olympics. And we talk about, like, when we talk about football in particular, basketball, baseball, American sports, we're results driven, right? Mm-hmm. I think even with a Patrick Mahomes, you're looking at, he made the pass, but you're not maybe looking, or the average fan ain't looking at how he made that pass, right?
Right. Or how difficult.
Yeah, there you go. What's the difficulty, like in gymnastics, right?
Yes.
And I'm watching, and we talk about stuff you're watching, but I'm watching like the diving yesterday. And I'm watching these Chinese athletes go 10 meters and hitting the water at 30 miles an hour, doing about 15 flips.
And no
splash. And I'm just in awe of just the athleticism that I'm seeing.
It's and again, when you're looking at the men's and the women's gymnastics,
crazy.
Just the ability to get the height, and be able to stay in the air to do all of the swings and twists and like. I can't even get my feet over one time enough. I'm breaking my neck. I already know, And I'm trying to, and when you look at it. You're missing it if you don't look at it and think about trying to do it.
Yeah. You definitely think about trying to do it.
If you're not truly watching it, unless you're asking yourself, like, how would I be able to do that? At what age could I have even thought that I could do it? And again, I think, I was so thinking that I was, and not taking anything from me, but I'm pretty athletic. I play corner. You got to be athletic to play corner. I can shift and change directions and all that kind of stuff and open my hips and all that. Mm-hmm. Man, that's 1,000 times difficult.
But see, I would argue that not necessarily. It's just that it's crazy to me, but we don't look at that. We don't look at you backpedaling, changing hip directions maybe 2 or 3 times within a route. Maybe giving the receiver a little leeway. You playing a game with him. The ball's in the air. You catch back up and then do a pass deflection. We're not looking at that and saying, marveling in the technical ability and the athleticism that it takes to do that. All we look at is saying he knocked the ball down. That's all we say. And you done did all this within a span of 5 seconds.
Well, the interesting thing, and I appreciate
and I think the Olympics, it really gives us that time to look at, like, just
true athleticism. Not
true, but just to be able to look at it, because we mentioned, like, when you look at a dive, whether the dive is a 7 or a 10 to the average person, it looked like a 10 to us. Yeah. So they got to break down the little small technicalities because it's that level.
And like on the gymnast, like when they hit the ground, like you done 15 flips in the air. And they expecting you to land solid and just stick it, right? Come on, can they not have a step?
But if they didn't judge it that way, because a lot of the guys and girls can do that, they have to judge it because it all is amazing. I mean, even if we're talking about track and field and the Sydney McLaughlin, she runs the 400 hurdles faster than most people run a 400.
Please say that again and just slow it down so people can assess that.
McLaughlin runs a 400-meter hurdle faster than most people can just run a straight up. And I'm talking about elite athletes can run a 400. I seen her in the semis yesterday, and it looked like I couldn't believe what I was watching. It looked like she was literally jogging, bro. And hit and burned everybody, burnt the field.
And think about it, because there's been like 3 or 4 races that have been like just blowouts.
Yeah.
Think about this. Everybody that's in the blocks, all 8 runners, are the best in the world. When you watch the 100-yard dash, that was great because it was like, 0.8 something between all of them. Crossing the line. Mm-hmm. But in some of these, whether it be 200 meters, 100 meters, all those races, like, you're getting some blowouts in some of these races that you're talking about you're going against the absolute best in the world. There's nobody else walking this earth that can do it
at
better.
This time period. And the funner ones are the ones where it's tightly contested, right? So you have your blowouts, but I'm looking at like the 100 meters where, like, I didn't know who won that race.
I know.
And the same thing, bro. I'm looking at the women's steeplechase yesterday, and that was a dog race.
Bro, I'm not. I would never. I don't even know how you decide you want to do
do that. How you do that?
What makes you say
you got to hurdle? You got to jump over the thing to the water.
Feet wet. No. Who does that?
And I watched the young lady. I forget she was. I want to say I don't want to mess the country up. But I watched her run this race masterfully, right? I watched the guys in the 1,500 meter. That was the best race I've seen thus far. And they're running a 1,500 meter in less than 4 minutes. 4 of them fighting at the end, running full speed on the last 100. And after 1,500 meters, bro.
And let me, in case you have missed this, and I'm sure you'll be able to see it again, watch right immediately after the race. They collapse. I mean, it's like they are dying.
Yeah.
Think about the fact that they're sprinting through that line. Yeah. They're putting that pain off until they're done.
And you see their faces too.
Yes. Because how many times have you ever run a quarter? And when we used to run the running test, you get to that last curve, man. You on the fourth one, you're about to die, and you starting to slow down long before you get to the end.
Man, I'm telling you, I just like, bro. I guess I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just more acutely aware. But just watching these Olympics and seeing these athletes, I mean, we're watching volleyball right now to the Olympics. I seen the synchronized swimmers. It's just really just the level of elite athleticism in this world. I think America, we become biased to football, basketball, right?
Yes.
But it gets a lot deeper, man.
It really does. And when you start talking about, like, my question is, if I'm a basketball coach, if I'm an NBA basketball coach, man, I'm watching this volleyball.
Can I get one?
Can I get one of these guys? Because they have the vertical they have. Crazy. Can we teach them to shoot the ball?
I mean, look at his brother now. He's number 9 for Canada. I mean, he has to be. He looks like he's about 6'10",
easily
jumping through the roof, man. Like it's truly special to watch. And talking about that 400, you got something coming up? Because if you're an old state head, we know about them 400s, and we know about a guy who used to be at camp cussing us out.
Well, I'm not. I don't want to. I'm assuming you're talking about the event with Sterling.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, we're going to do one-on-one with the one that I did with Randy Moss. It was one-on-one with me and Randy Moss. But I actually have got my good friend Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's brother, which he would hate that I said it that way. He's going to come in, and we're gonna get on stage. I'll give you the correct dates when I secure them. I have secured it, but I want to make sure everything is good, and we'll be putting out some information. We'll be putting out some here, and it'll be in South Charleston. It'll be at the Holiday Inn again for those who came last time. And basically what it is, it'll be a buffet dinner. Then there'll be an opportunity to come into the main room, and I'll talk, and Sterling will talk, and primarily he'll be talking. Yeah, he'll be talking, and to tell you, like, and he gets a bad rap about not being a media guy or not being overly friendly.
But I'll say this, kind of before you go. I thought, because I know he was like a NFL analyst for a while after his playing career. And I'm telling you, man, he was super good. Like, can people think like, and I know Shannon Sharp probably a little bit more entertaining, but Sterling Sharp, as far as, having that mouthpiece for the game and be able to talk on it and be able to be witty and quick, like, he was really good.
He has I think he has a bold opinion on the game, on a play,
Yeah.
And because he was so good, And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. And that's a media issue as well.
Yeah. And I would challenge anybody, go look up his highlights. Go type YouTube Sterling Sharpe highlights. He was phenomenal.
And hopefully you don't see me in any. I mean, because here's a guy who is leading tied or behind first or second with Jerry Rice the entire time he was playing. Yeah. His career ended early because of a neck injury, that he couldn't continue to play with. But the numbers speak for themselves, man. And it's just crazy. And because his thing was, I think he had an issue with the media, had quoted him the wrong way, and so he quit talking to him.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. And again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, has a media personality. Right. But just to come back to that shouldn't blind you from somebody's accomplishments.
No.
Right?
No.
It's like T.O. not being a first ballot Hall of Fame. We understand all the drama, whatever, woo-woo. How is he not? How is Sterling Sharpe? Because if Terrell Davis, who had a short career, is in the Hall of Fame,
right,
or Megatron, who had a shorter career, is in the Hall of Fame, it only makes sense. Because I think in the time that he played, in that time period, I think he had like the most receptions, most touchdowns within that time frame that he played. And I'm phenomenal.
And I will tell you this.
And he didn't have Joe Montana and Steve Young either.
No.
He had a young Brett Favre.
Yes. And I will tell you this. If you've ever been on the field with someone who could have fun and be that skilled, I mean, like he would laugh, like he would be laughing, like he'd be like, I'm locked in on him, like I'm covering him man to man, and he's like, bro, what coverage y'all in? Oh, y'all playing man to man. Don't worry about it. I ain't running. I ain't going nowhere. It's a run. It's a run. Don't worry about it. Relax, bro. Just relax. Snap the ball. Like, I mean, he'd run through our huddle because me and him was good friends, and so he knew all the guys. He'd come through our huddle. Y'all ain't calling nothing but man to man. That's honestly, all y'all play.
I'd be jealous of guys like that because I had to be so locked in. I had to be totally focused and concentrated. And I couldn't do that.
Yeah. See, and I know I couldn't play that way. I wish I could play that way.
I wish I could play that way. Like
because it would be fun.
It would be way more fun.
Because he would have fun the entire game.
Yeah.
Right, talking to all the DBs. And I'd tell the DBs, I said, look, do not fool with him. He's gonna laugh you into the end zone. Exactly what he's going to do.
That's funny.
Yeah, and again, because I don't know how deep I'm going to be able to get into his relationship with the media, but I really would like to dive into it because I think the media has the ability to blame him, And again, because usually I think, and again, I think this is a horrible kind of situation that you don't necessarily know who necessarily is voting for the Hall of Fame people, or the candidates to go into the Hall. I think, what bothers me is I think that the media is what's holding him out.
And I
think that's unfair because if you ask any DB that played against him, and played against Rice. In our conference, we had to play him twice. And we played the 49ers once or whatever. I'm telling you now, I was more concerned with Sterling than I was with Rice, and not taking anything from him.
What is Sterling? He's about 6'3"?
No, he's right around my height. He's just
about 6'1", 6'2".
Maybe not. I ain't 6'2" though. But
okay, about 6'1".
Right at 6.
But he was solid like his brother.
Gosh, yeah. He
was fast too.
He was fast and he was strong. Yeah. He caught a pass on me, a diving catch on me. He grabbed me. He knew what I was going to do. Like I punched, we step punch. I punched, thought I had a great punch on him. He grabbed shoulder pad and everything and just ripped it, right? Like and just pulled it. My jersey was down over top of on my shoulder pad, and I'm chasing him. I'm trying to chase him all the way down the field. He dives and makes a catch. Bro, he's laughing.
Wow.
Like he makes the catch, hits the ground, gets up laughing, and I'm looking at the official and I'm like, look, he's grabbed my jersey. And he's just laughing, just having as much fun as he can possibly have.
I can't wait for that one. So, and speaking of one of our state brethren, Coach Earl Monroe got inducted to the
Yes.
West Virginia State Hall of Fame, so we want to send him a shout out and congratulate him for sure on that accomplishment.
Yes, sir, Coach Monroe. We definitely want to give you a shout out and congratulations, man. Just want to give our sponsor one more shout out, Frank Walker. Frank Walker Law, real talk, real experience, real results. For more information, go to frankwalkerlaw.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here, and we appreciate you being here.
Peace.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. frankwalkerlaw.com. Comment on episodes, ask Carl and Hollis questions, or suggest topics at our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee, and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation.
If you fall, dust it off and get back up on your feet. Anything could be a win, yup, even defeat. They say sugar bad for you, why is victory sweet? Couldn't play with big kids, I had to sit in the street and watch from a distance, but over time I grew. If I put in the work, in no time I'm due. Everything that I worked and prayed, I'm okay. If you ask me, how did I do it, I'm gon' say, you gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting in, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work. 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 You gotta work.